one. We have ignition. Strap in.
Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Only on Armed Radio Global.
It's Friday night, time for some Straight Talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you. Special thanks to our sponsors out there, E24.com. If you ain't yet, log on to E24.com, download that app for your favorite mobile device. Click, order, and eat. It's like a food truck in your pants. Oh, I'd like to welcome everybody that's coming on Facebook Live. Daniel, Matt, welcome to the show. Also, I got Periscope, Ustream.tv, TuneIn, and Spreaker all running live. So, thanks, Daniel. We a lot of stuff going on in the news. I'm trying to do is veer away from a little bit of the politics because we've been it's just been so. Judith, welcome to the show. Everybody that's coming in, I'm going to be acknowledging. So if you hear me cutting out and welcome everybody, I'd like to do is give them props for coming on. But all this stuff that's going on in our world right now is just a little bit too crazy. So I'm kind of getting a little bit of a break from it. We have, it's just creating so much hate in this world. So I thought we'd do a few shows and get away from, we got Super Bowl coming up this weekend. We got a lot of stuff, sports stuff. Tiger was back, and Tiger's back. Yeah. So, you look at it that way. Tiger Woods is back. I thought it was going to help drive the golf business. Be a great year for it. And Tiger ends up having muscle spasms, having to withdraw from the Dubai Desert Classic. Not good. They were taking bets odds whether he could win the Masters this year, and now they're taking bets to whether he might retire by 2018. So I said, that's not good. It says Woods was they thought he was 25-1 or 20-1 odds to win the Masters, which is pretty good for him coming back. Now he's 33-1. While Las Vegas Casino dropped him to 50-1. So, but they're also taking bets whether he'll retire. I looked at him and playing his round. And not anything, putting him down or anything. Tiger is ripped. If you look at Tiger right now, he is just pumped. You look at it, the arms, this guy is built. He doesn't have the body. What's up, Dave? Welcome to the show, Dave Feck. Love you, man. It's been a long time. But, you look at Tiger. Tiger is just flipping ripped. He doesn't have the typical golf body you see. You see guys, that work out too much. Their body can't handle that turning and torque, that torque on the torso. Look how many surgeries he's had. You looked at him walking down the fairway, and this guy, his chest is just flat ripped. And Dave, I know Dave. Dave works out a lot. He owns a gym, I think with CrossFit. And you look at the way he's built his body, his body can't handle it. And at 41 years old, the back is the thing that's going to give out, especially in golf, because you hit thousands and thousands of golf shots. Sooner or later, something's got to give. Well, and you see golfers ended up having most of the injuries. So they need to do is, welcome, Joe. Joe, welcome to the show. But, golfers have, are so prone to back injuries, shoulder injuries, sometimes neck injuries and stuff like that. And, knee injuries because of walking and stuff like that. But Olafable had a foot. He had his was his back. He got a chiro adjustment and ended up helping him. But you look at Tiger and you look at him, he just looks like he's mentally defeated. You look at him when he hit that wedge into the water on his last hole. I think it was his ninth hole, actually it was. I was just like, God, I can't believe Tiger. He was the man. He just pummeling people. And then you see this. I'm afraid, I've had back spasms playing golf before. I hope it's not a prolonged injury. The problem is, what I'm afraid of is he might not be back this year. And that he drives people to the golf. I talked to one of my reps. He told me he did his most sales in the golf business ever when he was when Tiger was winning everything. He said he never sold anything that Tiger was sponsored by. Like he didn't sell Nike, he was a rep for another company. But Tiger pushes the golf business so much. And I think this is a big, big blow to the golf business. Everybody thought we were going to have a great year and it was going to be, everything going to just, with Tiger out playing again, the media goes up, the ticket sales go crazy. If he gets in the field at any tournament, they automatically sell out. What's cool is the waste management, which is going on right now, which Tiger wasn't playing in. He was in the Dubai Desert Classic. I was a little surprised he was tripping all the way over there for that. But, there's somebody wrote a kind of satirical piece about Tiger, why he withdrew, other reasons than his back. He wanted to, get a ticket to the Super Bowl and stuff like that, and joked about that. Got a first class seat came open, and instead of flying coach, which he's got his own jet. But you see stuff like that. You see a lot of people in golf are rooting for him. They want him to win. But I tell you what, if you don't see it, Brandel Chambly, my God, I tell you what, you almost think he's got something against Tiger. I don't know what he did. Valerie, welcome to the show. You see, he just looks like he looks like when Joe Buck did the Cubs World Series. Joe Buck couldn't stand the Cubs winning the World Series. He's a lifelong Cardinal fan, and it was like he was just so against it. But Brandel Chambly has something against Tiger. I don't know what it is. He, you can be critical of somebody, and like my brother's a golf pro, and we were talking about it today about Tiger, and we were talking about how nothing, putting Tiger down. We're talking about how his build, that he's just getting too ripped, for the golf swing. His muscles are trying to do things and take over his body that his back's not allowing him to do. If you've ever had back spasms while you're playing golf, it is a shocker. You'll be out there and all of a sudden they hit you, and it'll drop you to your knees. I had it in the middle of a tournament one time. They didn't last very long. Lasted about 5 minutes or so, but it's still, you got that in the back of your mind, oh my God, it's going to go, and my back's going to spasm again. Well, it's, I didn't have to, I'm not like Tiger, I have to worry about playing in front of the crowds, but, it really hurts. The Dubai Desert Classic, they are all pumping the media. Oh, great, Tiger's in the field. Everybody's nuts about it. Okay, and then all of a sudden, he's out injured. So, yeah, it's sad to see it happen. Hope he's gets healthy, I look for him to be back. I want to see him playing in the Masters. That's I call my official, start of the golf season around here in the Midwest. No lie. Yesterday, had a guy come out to the golf course, walked onto the first tee with his clubs. I had to go out and tell him, I said, sir, we're closed. It was 21 degrees with a wind chill factor of 8. And he says, well, when do you plan on opening? I'm like, not for a while. I said, not when I said, it's only in the 20s. He goes, yeah, I know. I said, probably going to be a little while before we open. But he wanted to go out and play. It felt like it was 8 degrees outside. And he was going to go out and play. I was like, wow, that's a little too chilly for me. Fred, welcome to the show. You see hunters go out and they go out in the nastiest weather and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, wind was blowing, with it feeling like 8. This weekend we got one of our sister courses has what is known as the Chili Open. They play 9 holes of golf, they drink beer and eat chili, and they play in the 8-inch cups, the big cups, and it's all for charity, fun deal. It's going on tomorrow at our sister course called Red Hawk. God, jeez, one of them days. But it's all a fun time. Too bad it's not. Welcome, Val. Welcome to the show. Are they big? What big? The cups. You mean that? 8-inch? Yeah, that's twice the size of normal. Really big. Wiggles, eyebrows, suggestively. They're big. Low, the cups. Yeah. They're big, Val. Usually they play it in snow and everything like that. Whatever the weather is, they play. It's kind of cool. You get them playing in ice. It doesn't matter. One year they're playing, it was just almost like it was flooded. But this year we haven't had snow. It was the third least snowiest January on the books. Yeah, middle of the winter in Alaska, I hit balls on the driving range. Wow. What was the temperature, Valerie? We had a guy try to play yesterday. It was 21 and felt like 8. So, what's the temperature in Alaska? So, yeah, it's crazy cold. What's crazy cold? What temperature? Valerie, I love that lipstick color. It looks gorgeous. Oh, I can't see her. The picture is so small, so it's hard to tell. Oh, you didn't know. Oh, all right. Yeah, we had a guy going out to play. Tried to play yesterday, and I told him, no, you can't. And it felt like it was 8 degrees outside. When it winds like that, I'm sorry. I don't get it. Yep, I'm a golf pro by trade. That's what I do for a living. I don't get to play as much as I'd like to because I'm more of a club pro, not a playing pro. So everybody goes, oh, do you play for a living? No, I work so other people can play for a living. But, yeah, it's sad to see Tiger get injured again. Some people like him and dislike him. People like him. I like him for what he does for the golf game. I like him how great he plays golf when he's playing it. Whether what he does on his own time and who he goes around and sleeps with, I could care less. It's like I like a lot of musicians and rock stars and stuff like that, but I didn't condone what they did when they got done. But a lot of the guys on tour, they're totally different when you get them in person. I'm just hoping that, a guy said to me, he goes, I hope Jordan Spieth seems like a great kid. 20 years down the road, we don't find out he's, a jerk or something. And that's true. I hope that. Right now, you're looking at the Waste Management, the leaderboard going right now. They got Byung-Hyun An, minus 10 with Brendan Steele. Welcome, Joe. Thank you. Thanks for all the shares, Joe. You look at it, it's a multi-country leaderboard here. We got South Korea and United States at the top of the leaderboard of the Waste Management. And then you have Martin Laird. I'm not sure where Martin Laird's from. I'm not sure if that's Swedish or whatever, but Matt Kuchar, a big favorite. Every time Kuch hits a good shot, they'll yell Kuch. And Sung Kang from South Korea, Hideki Matsuyama from Japan. You got Michael Kim from the United States, Louis Oosthuizen from, I think he's from Great Britain, I'm not sure. Ricky Fowler, JJ Spahn, Jonas Blix from Switzerland. Then you got Daniel Summerhays, and of course Zach Johnson, one of the local favorites around here, and Brian Harmon. Graham DeLay. Actually, Delet. I'm sorry, I call it Delay, but from Canada. But yeah, that's quite a good leaderboard. But they were talking about Jordan Spieth. Oh, he's back into contention. He ended up 4 under. 10 under is the lead. I'm like, I can't believe they consider him in contention compared to you think maybe Zach would get it. Valor in Iowa. You look at Arm Radio Global, which is a global radio station, is based out of Boston, and I'm broadcasting out of Iowa. But Zach, he's 2-time major champion. I can't believe they wouldn't put him up there and say, "Hey, look at Zach. Zach's near the lead." But Waste Management has a awesome. They have a record for the most attendance for a sporting event. Last year, they set a record on Saturday for one day at a golf tournament. 200,000 people. That's crazy. They had, I don't know, what is it, probably 60,000 around the 16th green. I think it would be something cool that all tournaments try to pick up that. Hey, it's all for charity. They're spending $40 a pop, and there's like 60,000 people around there. Figure that out. That's what we need to get in. We need to sell something, $40 a pop, and sell 60,000 of them. There we go. That'd be a nice little moneymaker. But we have 2 more days coming up. The cut, I think, was, let me see, I think the cut ended up being at even 1 under. Some big names did make it. Justin Thomas, who shot 59 just a little while, he missed the cut at even par. You have Luke Donald, Aaron Badley didn't make the cut. Padraig Harrington. It's some big names. But we had, let's see what else we got in golf here. Steve Stricker, they asked him, they were talking to him about, what about Tiger? And, you think about how, he's good friends with Tiger. And they asked Nota Begay about it. What time is it? 7:19 for you? Right now it is 9:19. Andy, welcome to the show. Your brother shared that video of the Cubs winning the World Series, and I think I've watched that thing 3 times. I love that video. It brings back that Cubs World Series win, and I'm just like, you almost get the adrenaline going. I couldn't sit down in that 9th inning. I was so jacked up. When he tied it up in the 9th inning and hit that home run, I almost broke my coffee table. You probably heard me across the street cussing. But, no, you look at, let me see, I had Steve Stricker, he interviewed him, and they said, he's probably still hurting a little. He said that, like many observers, he didn't like what he saw. having to use a club to pull himself out of the bunker. He said it looks like he's still hurting a little. He's walking around gingerly, walking upright, very slow and methodical. I wonder if he tweaked it when he was hitting balls or something. He says it doesn't seem like he has a lot of fire, and that's what bothers me. Maybe he's still hurting a little. So, it's one of those things where you're just so afraid to let go and let it, let your game go when you're injured. So hopefully he can get his back taken care of and get back and play. I hopefully he makes it back within a couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe he needs to go and get some acupuncture. I don't know. I mean, I tell you, we got Palmer College. I'm streaming there, Joe. I'm streaming. I'm not on TuneIn. I should be. It's let's see here. It's I gotta fix something here. Oh, all right. I got it. I'll fix that. TuneIn's a little jumpy tonight. So now I should be. Now am I on TuneIn? So, but we got Palmer College right here, the main college. I guarantee you they could probably do is, have him stop by Tiger over at Palmer and they could diagnose him. He got something wrong. He needs to do is that fixed. It's just sad to see, just a back spasm keep him out of the play. It's you look at this weekend coming up. We got the Super Bowl, of course. You got Tom Brady's biggest fan. I don't know if you've seen that guy. I want to talk about it. He's got the tattoo of the football helmet over his whole head. Yes, Palmer College of Chiropractic. That's what it is. It's where all the chiropractors all over the world come to Palmer to learn how to be a chiropractor. So, yeah, that's the big school for college for chiropractic. Thanks, Joe. They had, let's see here. I'm trying to do his. I got my. I'm looking at my scrolling of things I want to talk about, but you look at. Apparently, no, I was talking about the guy with Tom Brady's biggest fan. Well, apparently his biggest fan is also wanted on drug warrants. I don't know if you've seen this guy. He's got the whole head is a giant tattoo of the Patriots helmet, and it's got the Super Bowl trophy across the top of his head. Well, apparently he's Victor Thompson. He's 48 years old. Is named in 4 separate warrants, according to Florida courts. 3 of the warrants are for felony narcotics possession. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no tattoos. And I'm nothing against tattoos. I'm sorry. If you want a tattoo, that's great. I just haven't found something that I want long enough to put it somewhere where I, to keep it for the rest of my life. I got one right there. That's it. But I know people that got them. I mean, some of them look great. I think they're really cool. But to have he's got even Riddell on the front of his forehead, and he's got the Patriots logo on both sides of his head. The Lombardi trophy over the top of his head, and he's got the USA flag and Patriots across the back. And number 12, right on the back of his helmet. And it says, I'm like, well, one you used to be able to do is be able to drink and get tattoos. Most time you see guys that were drunk, they get bombed, and oh yeah, let's get a tattoo, and they go and they let you put them on. Nowadays you can't. Although some people have, got them when they're intoxicated, but they're not supposed to. Well, a friend of mine, one of the kids who worked for me years ago, he's close to 30 now, but there was a bet they had. Well, apparently one of the guys lost the bet, and Iowa played in I think it was not the Outback, it was down in Florida, it was the Insight Bowl or something like that, and he had to get an Insight Bowl tattoo on the cheek of his ass, and he got it. I was like, I'm sorry, but to be stuck with the Insight Bowl tattoo on your ass for the rest of your life, I'm sorry to make a different bet. I would have, it'd have to be something that I really liked or disliked before I go tattooing it on there for good. Yeah. There is no way. But, I've thought about it. I thought about getting a little, when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Korea, and I thought about getting a little, the little short timer guy on your arm or whatever, the Army or whatever. But it was, I just never really did. The tattoos nowadays are so better looking than the tattoos back in the 80s, So you look at guys that get tattoos now, they all have color, and they're, the intricate, designs of them are really cool. You have, it's really impressive, some of the tattoos you get. I got one guy plays at the golf course all the time. He part owner of a tattoo shop, and he tells me to come on in and I'll take care of you, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I worry about, So maybe someday I got to find something that really, it's got to be absolute perfect before I'll do it, and it's probably nothing going to be huge or anything like that. So you have I don't know. Here's kind of a weird story. You guys ever been out in front of Target and you see that giant 2-ton red ball that's sitting out in front of Target? Well, apparently, I've always thought, what the heck is holding these things down? Well, one of them got loose. I don't know what they did, but it took off rolling through the parking lot. Can you imagine that? A giant 2-ton ball. I mean, you've seen them. I've seen them outside of Target, and I didn't even know that they were movable. But and I didn't figure they weigh that much. But one of them started rolling through the parking lot, and I had the article here. I don't know what even I. And it's like, boom, it's gone. But it apparently rolled into some cars. So it'd be like a car rolling around through the parking lot. And, I mean, it's not just something you go, hey, go get that giant ball out of the parking lot. Yeah, here it is. It says surveillance cameras at a New Jersey Target captured the moment a truck bumped one of the iconic red concrete balls, causing it to roll into a moving car. So, and they show pictures of it out in the parking lot. But you imagine hitting that thing? It looks like it would be one of those kind of like inflatable red dodgeballs, or the giant exercise balls. But you would probably destroy your car hitting that. Somebody would probably think, oh, yeah. Marie, welcome to the show. Marie Jo Collis. And, I've seen those things, and I've always thought, hey, that'd be kind of weird to see one of them rolling around. Also, before I get away from Super Bowl, did you see that A guy went out on a beer run, and he went to go. I got my article here. He went out on a beer run. Oops, wrong article. That's Super Bowl facts, but and won Super Bowl tickets for life. He Kansas man. He get my article open up here. Thanks to a lucky beer run, he said he won Super Bowl tickets life from a local liquor store. The Super Bowl ticket life sweepstakes after he opened up a 30-pack containing a gold beer can. He says, I had no idea that an ordinary Bud Light would change my life. This dream come true. I'll tell you what, I'd sell them. I like, and I'd love to go to the Super Bowl, but it would be cool to go. But I'm talking about, I would rather sit at home and watch it in front of my TV. I'd sell them every year. I would. That'd be awesome. Be a nice little bonus. Somebody'd want to go. Also, this is gross. Think about this. A Virginia brewing company releases, and I can't think of this, Oreo-flavored beer. I don't know. That just doesn't even sound right. It's a craft beer fermented in hundreds of pounds of Oreo cookies. And it says the Vale Brewing Company, based in Richmond, took their Hornswoggle milk stout and conditioned it using Oreo cookies to create Hornswoggle with Oreos. That's right. 7% robust chocolate milk stout Hornswoggle, and conditioned it on hundreds of pounds of Oreo cookies. The brewery said, if you like Oreo cookies, this is a must try. The cookie-infused beer was released in limited quantities of 16-ounce cans on January 24th and quickly sold out. Yeah, I agree with you, Valerie. That doesn't sound very good. They were also able to secure one of the 60 to 80 cases that the brewery released, encouraged you to keep the beer cold and drink it fresh due to the amounts of fermentable sugars left over in the final product. Imagine Oreo cookie beer. I don't know if you've ever had, what do they call that best damn root beer, or the Mike's, or what is it? They got best damn root beer, and then there's another one called Not Your Father's root beer. It kind of has a faint taste of tasting like root beer, but not good enough for me. I didn't like it. I've tried it. They have, speaking of, they had a guy that was trying to bypass. He was a Florida man, was accused of disguising 24 gallons of moonshine as water. He had them in great value cases of water. He got arrested, discovered he was smuggling gallons of moonshine whiskey disguised as water. I don't know what would cause them to pull him over, and I'm sure it got to have a strong smell. But police said they discovered 24 gallons of bottles of moonshine in the front seat and trunk of the car that had been labeled as water. It's people don't think about that. You always get somebody that's an idiot that their truck or car is full of drugs or full of alcohol, and then they get caught speeding. I'm like, really? That's about the last thing you should be doing if you're hauling drugs or hauling, alcohol or anything. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you're speeding and you get pulled over, odds are they're going to find out. I watched the show all the time, Live PD. And Live PD, almost every episode they get somebody for drugs. It's just like, how stupid are you? You know, if Colorado allows it, hey, that's more power to you if that's what you want to do. I don't care. But if you're going to sit there and drive down the street and do it, it's like driving down and holding up a beer can and going, hey. Oh, and although this is a can of soda. But driving down the street and showing off why don't you just show it to them? Because you're liable to get pulled over. And when they walk up there, I don't know if you've ever, I was a former police officer, and when I was in the military, they did, I was an MP, and they did what they call controlled burnings, where they burn marijuana in front of you so you know what it smells like. Well, they did a controlled burn in front of us, and the whole room just reeked of pot. They take a strainer and they light it, and under the strainer, you're not inhaling it. You're inhaling it. The whole room smells like it. And they're walking around, and you hand it to you, and you hand it to the next guy. Well, they got to the back row of people, and there's like 4 rows of people. That's all. And one of the fellow MPs, I know he loved the guy. He was hilarious. Panix was his name. He was a beauty. He got back there. The whole room, there's about a 3-foot haze, of smoke on the top of the room. And he goes, hey, it went out. You think you could light it again? I just started crying, laughing. Because, the whole room just reeked of marijuana. But I don't know. If that's what you want to do, that's what whatever. I'm not into that. I know a lot of people. Run into a lot of people that are. I guess I'll stick with reality. I know it ain't the greatest, but you have. We got. Story I missed on the golf scene there. Cowboys on horseback had to lasso an escaped bull at a South Dakota golf course. I'm like, can you believe that? I would not want to mess with a bull. I'm sorry. Imagine being out playing and running that, but it looked like the golf course was closed because there was a little bit of snow on it. So, no, I see. Val, the smell is disgusting, but do you still smell it anyway? Like that kind of smell? That's why she always does the food. That's why Val does that. I know why. That's why she was sharing the pizza earlier. And when you do too much drugs, then you do this next story. This is nude Microsoft campus jogger says he was building immunity to the cold. He says this happened February 1st. Police in Washington State said a pair of illuminated buttocks on the Microsoft campus led them to question a nude jogger who offered a perfectly logical explanation. The Redmond Police Department said in a Facebook post that a female officer on the south side of Microsoft corporate campus observed an unknown male running outside about 3:30 a.m. After seeing nude buttocks illuminated by a streetlight. She and another officer contacted the jogger who was wearing nothing but black sketch sneakers. Concerned for the cold weather, he was placed in a patrol car. And so the man offered a perfectly logical explanation for his naked run. He was trying to build up his immune system to fight the cold weather. Yeah. Eric, welcome to the show. Hats off to one of our finest. I saw you today and a nice picture. Congratulations. Good honor there. I had to do is, speaking of that yesterday, speaking of law enforcement, we had one of, guy walks all the time. He happened to notice a lady's backpack and a purse and a bra in the park, thrown all over, just thrown all over the place. And I'm like, I called PD. They came out. I don't know what they did. I saw them drive out. In the park, but it's always good to report something like that because you don't know. He came up and he said, "What do you think I should do?" I said, "I'll just call. It's worth it because I would rather be safe than sorry than to not call and find out something happened to somebody or somebody was abducted or something." So, like I always say, and I say it every time when I end my show, if you see something, say something because you always don't want to do is go, crap, man, hear it on the news and go, I could have done something or I should have done something. So, yeah, it's you always feel better about making that call. We've had, I had, weird incidents, that you call and you go, God, should I do that? And it's always best to call and be safe. It's like we have a policy at where I work at the golf course. If somebody needs medical attention, roll the ambulance, roll the fire truck, get them there, check them out, make sure, and then let them be the ones to, say, no, I don't want to be treated, or I don't want to. Yeah, and I mean, it's, you rather than doing is taking a chance and going, no, they're fine, and then something happened to them. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the one to make that decision for them. Let them make that decision for themselves. Let them be treated. Make sure that something's going to happen to them. The EMS and fire could do something for them. Yeah, I got a brother-in-law that's a lieutenant with the one fire department, and I got to give him credit. To want to run into a building that's on fire, that's not something I want to do. We had a fire in a house here locally today where luckily the dad, the son, and their pet got out. I heard one nasty one on the news the other day where fire started and the lady had to drop the baby out in a baby carrier or in a stroller, and she succumbed to the fire. She died in the fire. The baby lived. She dropped it out the window, but the mother died. That's sad. You just pray that nothing like that happens. Here's kind of a weird story. You're talking about calling the police and stuff like that. Well, apparently, it happened in Australia, but it's still that she called the local police. She wanted to call to report that her drug dealer had drastically increased her marijuana prices. So she called to complain. So I bet that dealer was a little miffed. How did they know? Well, that's the thing. You deal with that, eventually something's going to happen and you're going to get caught. Here's another one. These are the stories when you're an officer and stuff like that and you run into. Well, apparently cops snatch a novelty store robbery suspect. And I say novelty store because he was a man from Arkansas suspected of robbing an adult novelty store, was arrested after a stolen sex toy fell out of his pocket when he was approached by a police officer. And he was in the back room attempting to get it out of the sight of an employee. When the worker entered the room, she spotted closing a pocket knife with an adult sex toy in his jacket. So when the employee asked Bell to return the item, cops say refused and reopened the pocket knife and began advancing on the worker. So briefly, Bell was locked in the store by the employee, but after he menaced another customer, shattered a glass countertop with his fist, and began kicking the front door. The worker unlocked the door. You see that, and he had to do is take his. He said, I don't want to read the rest of this because it's actually pretty gross. I'm just like, if you want to read about it, you could go on The Smoking Gun, read it yourself. People are sick. They also have a new app that's out, and this actually, I think, makes more sense. It's called a hater dating app. Matches people based on mutual dislikes. Rather than trying to match people on what they like, match them on something that they hate. Something that they hate. Then that they're going to be compatible. It says an upcoming dating app looks to help people find love by tapping into their mutual hatred. The app, known as Hater, is set to be released this February 8th, and it boasts that it's the first dating app that matches people on things they hate. Like, I hate broccoli. No, I actually like broccoli, but Hater is making a serious online dating more approachable by replacing cumbersome surveys and bios with fun, alternate way to express your personality. One of the things I hate, absolutely hate, my sister hates that too, I hate sweet potatoes. Can't stand them. And yams too, or just a fancy name for sweet potatoes. It's in disguise. Gross. No thanks. I won't have any. I'll pass. So, I mean, who knows? That might be the way to do it. If you could do is find an app or design an app. Imagine, the guy that made Facebook. Well, and you make Periscope and all these different apps that I'm broadcasting on right now. One of those, I mean, you just need one thing to take you to the, to start. And it said, "Where's the hate button?" Well, all I have is a like button. Please don't hate. I guess it's called where you leave, but no, please be nice. Here's another article that was out. This one came out on the news, and I'm sure this one was seen. This was talked about, but and it never happened when I went to school. I never see anything like that. Apparently, a cartwheeling substitute teacher exposed self to high school choir class. A substitute teacher was arrested yesterday for indecent exposure when she performed a cartwheel in her high school choir class with no undergarments on. According to police, she exposed herself to students last Friday at Pawhuska High School in Pawhuska, which is a city 50 miles north of Tulsa. Sponsler seen at the right, which she didn't look that bad. I don't know. I don't see her doing her car, but was wearing a long dress, but no underwear, which caused her to expose herself in a student's class. This accident was captured by a student on her cell phone. I'm like, why would you think you would go, okay, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do a cartwheel. It says apparently she performed the cartwheel in a junior high choir room. Her dress was flipped up, exposing her buttocks. An officer who reviewed the video of the incident added, "I further noticed that the defendant was not wearing any type of underwear." The 17-year-old female student told police that sponsor had said that she was not wearing underwear before performing the cartwheel. Duh. Well, you just ruin your chance of ever being a student teacher again. Why? So not bright. Well, that doesn't even look like the same lady. They show a picture of her and then they show a picture at the bottom. They don't even look like the same lady. It says apparently in 2008 she was pled guilty to marijuana possession and public intox. So I don't know. She must have been feeling no pain and when she did her little acrobatic cartwheel. Something. I don't know. I just don't understand why you would, what would make you want to do that? Here is a kind of a, speaking of drugs, what I was talking about, but it's kind of a funny story. It says, man, 74, he's a 74-year-old man, gave up cookies after Mass. And he's known as the Cookie Man in his Indiana neighborhood. The only problem is the cookies were laced with hash oil. And he gave them out to his fellow parishioners at an Indiana church. It says Jones is facing 2 misdemeanor counts of criminal recklessness and possession of hash oil. I don't know if that would make you high or not, but I'm sure one parishioner who ate an entire cookie told the police that he felt like he was having a stroke, like he was dying. The man told cops that he recently had a triple bypass procedure and worried if whatever happened today was going to adversely affect his heart. Said each of the victims identified Jones as a source of chocolate chip cookies they consumed. It says Weatherby added that Jones is walking all over the aisles and appeared to be intoxicated under the influence of some substances. Yeah, cookies. Yeah. When police questioned Jones about the cookies, he denied knowledge of any illegal substance being added to the baked goods. But when officers executed a search warrant at Jones' residence, they discovered 9 capsules of hash oil inside a pill container found in a bedroom when Jones often slept. So, yeah, he is the Cookie Man. So, yeah. How many people do you think ate him, and how many people are going to show up at his house for more cookies? Yeah. So, you wonder how many people ate the cookies, or the people that went back up for a second line to get communion? That's probably the ones that had the cookies. So, yeah, it's that time of the year where, the cookie bots, that's right. But you look at that time of the year when Girl Scout cookies come out, it's like you don't order them in boxes of, 1 and 2. It's like 5 and 6, and you wonder why you have a $40 cookie bill. It's crazy. Some of the new ones that came out, I'm not real fond of, but I'm like, whatever. I don't know if you ever do Facebook, or not Facebook. It is Facebook, but Facebook VR. I didn't realize that Facebook has a virtual reality, but they were apparently the jury issues $500 million verdict in a Facebook virtual reality lawsuit. Jury in Texas on Wednesday ordered Facebook Incorporated, its virtual reality unit Oculus, and others defendants to pay a combined $500 million to ZeniMax Media Incorporated, a video game publisher that says Oculus stole its technology. The jury in federal court in Dallas found Oculus, which Facebook acquired for about $2 billion in 2014, used ZeniMax computer code to launch the Rift virtual reality headset. ZeniMax alleges the video game designer John Carmack developed the core parts of the Rift technology while working at ZeniMax subsidiary. Oculus hired Carmack in 2013. So, they stole their technology, and you're looking at virtual reality, one of these things right here. They're pretty cool. This is the one that goes and it works with the iPhone. This is not with the I guess the Samsung VR one or whatever like that. But they're pretty wild. I would love to do is find a VR software that's worth that's really detailed. Usually they're all cheap short videos and stuff. There's one I saw, it was a Facebook haunted, not Facebook, VR haunted house. That was pretty cool. This guy all of a sudden the lights come on and he's standing right in front of me and he's like leaning down looking at me in my face. I was like, whoa. I mean, it just shocks you because you're not ready for it. And you're looking around, and when you move around, you can see. Pretty cool. I'm waiting for them to come out and do VR gaming that way, because it's a really, what do you want to call, I mean, they do have some gaming that way, but I'm talking about where you don't have to wear this gigantic headset. Yes, I've done the roller coaster video. Yeah, it does make you dizzy. Pretty cool. I don't like real roller coasters. I've been on a few, but I don't know. I don't like the ones that invert. I'm not a real big fan of those. So, but when they improve them, they will over time. They're going to be so realistic, and I just can imagine with all the pervs out there, what the virtual reality is going to go to. I don't know. I just can't imagine. But this weekend, Sunday, 2017 Super Bowl, Lady Gaga's got, 13 minutes to do her act. I just hope it doesn't turn political. I hope it just is, her music. Don't try to make a political statement. And just do your own thing. Whatever. Do your music. Do what you're famous for. Also, Westminster Dog Show coming up. First time in 140 years. They're going to add cats. Tell me that's not a recipe for disaster. Dogs like crazy, and then they're going to add cats. Do I see a problem with this? I see. You're going to see something happen. If they're together, they can't have them out together. I just think it's crazy. It's called the Westminster Dog Show for a reason, but I don't know if they're. But to add cats, a little different, a little weird. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Hey, if that's what they want to do, I just think it's going to be crazy when the dogs go nuts. So, have you ever seen the video where the cat looks like a ninja and he's got they Photoshop a lightsaber in his hand, or paw, actually, not his hand. So, and they show him fighting, but I don't know if it'll be that drastic. Here's a weird story. Another one going out here. Family was checking their smoke detector, and they found it was covered in honey. And this Arizona home. They went up in the attic and found several pounds of honey and a defunct beehive. Luckily, it was defunct. But imagine that. Having 60 to 70,000 bees up in your ceiling. That would be a little frightening. So luckily, they found 5 to 6 pounds of honey in the ceiling. That equates to about 60 to 70,000 bees. I used to have a guy I worked with had 8 or 9 hives in his backyard. And he goes, "Oh, come on over, I'll show them to you." I was like, no thanks. My luck is I get stung, and then with that many, you get stung a ton. This is kind of a cool story. Also, leaving one of the last story of the night. We're almost time. We're a fast hour. That's the way we call it. A Kansas high school student converts his locker into a soft drink vending machine. Pretty cool. It says Kansas high school student used spare locker space, is going viral thanks to a video showing his finished project, a fully functioning vending machine. Blake Hawkins, 17-year senior at Valley Center High School, posted a video to YouTube showing his chemistry teacher demonstrating the soft drink vending machine the student built in his school locker. Hawkins, who detailed the process behind the invention on the website Instructables, the soda locker was inspired by the extra space in his locker. With so many schools moving to electronic devices for books, lockers become less of a space for your books. I see my son. He's got a backpack that weighs 60 pounds. I'm like, how do you carry it? They have to put every book, they got to take everything home. Hawkins said the invention proved popular with his fellow students, selling up to 6 75-cent soda cans during each class break. So, he says, I think most of it is novelty that you're buying a pop from a vending machine inside of a locker. So, hey, if they're going to spend it, more power to you. Well, Facebook Live shut down. It is that time of the night. It is 10:01. Everybody have a great night, a great weekend. Be safe out there. If you see something, say something. Watch this. Super Bowl should be good. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl commercials Monday. But have a great night, a great weekend. Be safe. And we'll see you next week.